Okay, so what I want to first talk about is kind of the things we're doing with our agenda today. So we're going to talk about the Family Forum feedback, the ARPA stabilization grant, ongoing EEC supports, upcoming changes to the workforce policy and operation, and other workforce supports, the registry, higher education access. At the end, we're going to spend some time. The PowerPoint isn't too long, but really going through some questions, doing a poll of some of the questions and looking for your feedback and a quality update. But for today's agenda, we want to focus on sharing the most up-to-date information from EEC. Opportunities like the free PPE that a lot of you are taking part of. Also reminding people we still have a lot of PPE in the regional office. If you need stuff, please let us know and stop by. We would love to get it out into your hands versus in our conference room. Dedicated COVID testing, the stabilization grants, and changes coming soon to support programs. Most importantly, as we said, we want to collect your questions so that we make sure we set our communication and technical assistance in the coming month tailored to answer your questions and what your needs are or you see your needs are in the field. So we're going to start, and I'm not sure a lot of people were aware that EEC held some family forums in each part of the state in August. We asked, what do families need from care? So not just looking at the provider or EEC news, but basically, what are families seeing when they're trying to find care, or what do families need? And of course, as people probably can guess, bottom line is affordability is the most pressing concern for all families as far as how they can afford to send their child to care. In our region, we also heard about the need for support for transportation. As you know, we don't have a lot of great public transportation out in the West. We don't have subways or trains, and the buses are scarce out here. So it's very difficult to find childcare, and also the need childcare with transportation, and the need for more summer outdoor programs and socialization for children. And also, as we're seeing more and more, the desire for more mental health support. So again, from the Family Forum, affordability was a really pressing concern. And the difficulty of finding certain kind of care, especially infant toddler care, before and after school care, and also care for children that have diverse needs that are having a hard time finding places in certain programs. Okay, hola. So let's first talk about something that is really exciting and that many of you are part of, and that's the ARPA stabilization grants in Western Massachusetts. We have had a really good turnout where in family childcare, we have about 70% of family childcare providers who have applied for the grant. And for group and school age, we have about 59%. All licensed childcare programs are eligible. Funding is based on licensed capacity, and adjustments are made on equity goals. So even though your program may not quite be filled after COVID, we are still looking at those original capacities of your license. Massachusetts is just one of 14 states that was able to get the grants out before September, and ours began in July. So we were really ahead of the curve in Massachusetts on this. And there are a lot of resources to support the grant applications. And we do have the website listed there on the grant webpage to go and check out and see if, you know, any questions you have or how you can get those grants. The stabilization grants have been reaching our programs. In our region, we've seen 70%, again, for family and 59% for group and school age. Next slide. So you may be wondering, it is not too late if you are not currently one of those providers in the grant process. So applications are still being accepted. If you haven't opened yet but plan to open, you can actually apply in advance for the months you will open, just at the reopening date with your licensor. So if you're planning on opening in January or you're planning on opening December, please let your licensor know when you're trying to get your program back and running. We know a lot of our school age programs were not able to participate in the spaces in public schools, and they're trying to find different places, or they're just starting to get up and running again. So please make sure you check out our website or call the help desk. The number is there, and also the website is there. They will help you with any questions about the grant, and again, this is just a special help desk that will help you with the grants. The EEC website for stabilization funds also includes the overview of the funding, recordings of information sessions, frequently asked questions, link to the applications, a user guide in English, Spanish, Mandarin, and Portuguese, some sample grant applications, a formula calculator used to determine funding that may be available through the grant. So if you have not done so, please take a look at this. And please, again, if you have any questions, please call the help desk for any advice or any needs you may have. Other COVID-related supports that will continue, EEC will continue to provide the following support through the fall, and that's the ongoing monthly PPE ordering with the delivery to your door. And I know most people are doing that. Pool testing, and also rapid response COVID testing sites statewide for childcare staff and participating families. So there's a lot of opportunities for testing, and we have PPE supports for you. And to add to support families and programs participating in the subsidy system, modifications remain in place through December, including no limits on absences, extended job search timeframes, and waiving parent fees, among others. So really trying to support you, really trying to support families during this time of transition and still in, unfortunately, some COVID. So one of the most exciting and probably the thing people have the most question about has to do with really the workforce crisis and streamlining hiring. A lot of you have been here through many changes in teacher qualifications and in hiring, but if you look at the top of this slide, it's talking about the current state. And basically what happens is the provider and educator needs to enter data into the PQ system. From there, the provider and educator completes an application packet online. The next step is providers and educators submit the application packet and supporting documents to the EEC TQ unit for a secondary validation of that materials. The TQ unit then enters and validates the data in the PQ registry, and then the TQ unit emails TQ certifications to providers and educators. As many people know, this is a really long and lengthy process, and it really disrupts programs from being able to get staff in quickly through their doors. So what we're looking for is, and we've heard from so many people, that it's really hard to hire staff during this time. We just don't have the bodies. And if programs have it, they're competing with other programs, and staff are jumping from program to program. EEC has been working to find as many fixes as possible in the educator policies and operations. As you know, the current process to apply for TQ certification to EEC can be full of paperwork, takes some time, and sometimes causes confusion. A lot of times you submit an application, you think it's great, and you just get a letter back saying you're missing certain documents. And then, did it get through the mail? Did it get through online? So there's been a lot of issues, though everyone's working hard to resolve it. It is a time-consuming process. So this is why we've created an interim process modifications to help you hire staff more quickly. The interim process makes it so programs can verify new staff member qualification and then maintain those qualification in staff files. So a program reviews and verifies qualifications opposed to the secondary review of EEC looking at it also at the time of hire, and then maintains those as part of the staff records. If people were hired in the 80s or before, they'll remember this is how we used to do staff qualifications. This process is going to just remove that secondary review of having to submit things to Boston and then the back and forth from there. Ola? So as we're supporting our programs in hiring and changes to qualification policies, as people know, as you've applied, there's been narrow definitions of what is acceptable, what isn't. Restrictions on reciprocation of if you work in Connecticut and you're a director, does that help you in Massachusetts? If you're a teacher and you don't have an N through 3 certificate, but you have a K through 3 certificate, does that count? If you work for early intervention, how does that work? Programs of study were limited on what we accepted and from what colleges and what was considered, acceptable and not, and difficulty in transferability of certain type of courses if they didn't meet the exact title. So the current state we're kind of looking at, and as you can see, like there's a lot of ups and downs, and there's kind of some stoppages in there, which isn't helping you get the teachers you need to get your programs up and to get children in your program. So when EEC has looked at the policy revisions, it has tried to meet the following goals. We want to remove the barriers that may create delays or stand in the way of programs hiring new staff. And we've heard you, and we know the reality of that. Maintaining qualification standards, but offers some time to reach them so programs can hire people quickly and educators can still succeed in the long term. And then adding flexibility in how qualifications are achieved and how they are verified. Ultimately, program leaders, as you know, you are the experts in what the children in their care need. And the more flexibility means you have the ability to hire quickly and get people, and you can get the people you need. You are the experts, and we recognize that. There will be TQ office hours for answering all questions that arise through these changes, and policies and protocols will be published and shared. So the people you're used to working with, Natu and her group, they're still there. They're still there to provide support. They're going to have the office hours. So if you have a question like, I'm not sure about this course, or I'm not sure about this experience, you still have people that can help you through that process. So looking ahead, the next year of workforce support. So EEC is working on many other ways to support our early education and care providers. So again, we're starting this process, but we know it's a long road ahead of us. The EEC Professional Pathways is a new initiative launched with Neighborhood Villages, which is more out towards Boston. So I'm not sure if people are as familiar with them. But after November 1st, if a program or educator goes on this website, which is, I don't know if you have that website, Ola, or we can get it to you.
Yeah, I believe it's the website that's linked here, the www.EEC Professional Pathways.
Okay, perfect. It'll help you find the coursework you need to get started or to advance in your early childhood career. So there may be some coursework that's online that you can do online that's actually offered out in Boston. So if you're searching for an infant toddler course or you're searching for an online curriculum course, you're going to be able to search farther than Western Mass, which is great. And then stay tuned for the Professional Pathways website when it's launched and it begins to work. So looking ahead, we also have the professional registry. I had the honor to do some user testing on this, and it is really wonderful. You're going to love it. If you look at the corner and you see Lisa, it's through the lead, and so it's going to look very familiar to you because you're all in lead and you're all using lead regularly. But it's exciting, and it's going to be launched soon. It's going to be one-stop shopping for training documents, background record check process, and all records related to employment in an EEC licensed program. It's all going to be stored in one site under that person. So everyone will have their own page with their information in it. It will be like a hub for educators and link with programs that employ them. The registry can follow an educator throughout their career from role to role. So if they work at one program and they transfer to another, it keeps that history there. It should reduce delays in recruitment and hiring as well. For family childcare, processes will be adapted for the specific need of these educators. So it's usually the provider and maybe an assistant or a household member. So a little bit different than what we're looking at for group and school age. EEC held engagement sessions, which with much more information about the professional registry, and please visit the engagement portal and view the recordings from the workforce effort session to learn more. So please always, and I know we've talked about it other townhouse, really link that engagement portal to your computer as a favorite so you can always see what's going on and you can always see and jump on any meetings that are interesting to you. Okay, so we want you to stay connected. We had a board meeting yesterday. If you did not watch it, you can always go to our website because all these board meetings are recorded. So again, the information is there and how to find it. We also, more than ever in a long time, and a lot of our licensors who've been here forever, this is a time that we're really listening to you and we want you to share your thoughts. We are taking a lot of feedback versus this is what we're doing. So please, we are grateful for everything you share. It has been helpful to all the teams who have worked on these initiatives you've heard about tonight. And there's so many more ways to learn and share information. Again, please attend board meetings and provide public comment when you have important things to say. And again, please register for engagement and provider survey and live feedback on topics and more. So please participate. We need to hear from you. If this is going to work, we really need you as an active partner in all of this. Again, there's the link to the EEC strategic planning portal. Again, I have it as one of my favorites, and I am on it to check all the time to see what is there. If I miss something, I can grab and jump on the recording of it so I can listen, because we are moving and we need to make sure we're all staying informed and that you're part of that process. Okay, Ola, you're going to take us through the next part of this.
Okay, yes, I will. Thank you, Erin. So as you can see that's projected on the screen, we will be using a software called Poll Everywhere to gather everyone's information and any feedback that folks have, largely for gathering questions. We won't necessarily be able to answer any at this point, but just to hear from you all. So you can join either through texting or on the actual website, which is pollev.com/earlyeducation. So what I will do now is stop sharing this screen and I will share the Poll Everywhere screen that we will be using in just a moment. Okay. Okay. Okay, so once you're connected, this is the first question that we have. These are all free response, but the first one being, when you think about upcoming changes in educator qualifications, what questions should we be sure to answer in our technical assistance?
Great. And I think we're looking for some specific feedback about thinking, as we develop tools and resources to support programs in implementing the revised policy, what should we in particular be keeping in mind and thinking about how to best support programs? What are some of your questions related to what this educator qualifications policy might mean?
Okay, let's make sure the answers are coming up. Okay.
Who verifies the program administrator director's qualifications? It's an excellent question. What, if anything, will it mean to currently qualified teachers and educators? Just want to re-raise some points that were made earlier, which is we are not devaluing the TQ certificate. So those that have already received that certificate will continue to be valued, and we will work towards implementing a workforce registry for the future state that really includes components of the teacher qualification certificate. How to find the coursework needed, definitely a barrier. These are really excellent questions. Looks like we're slowing down, Ola. Will TQ complete the applications that have already been submitted? Is there an end date? So yes, TQ will continue to process the applications they've received. When we announce the policy, there will be a revised process, and will care courses be available? Oh, I can't even keep up. How is work experience figured into qualifications, and how can it be constructively counted? This is excellent. So just back to the applications that have already been submitted to TQ will be processed. And when we announce the educator policy, the revisions, we will also share a date by which the TQ will stop receiving those applications. So that is forthcoming. Options for support in other languages. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, looks like we're slowing down. Shall we move to the next question?
Sure.
Okay. Here we go. So, as we think about neighborhood villages and access to higher education, what questions do you anticipate having?
So Caitlin, neighborhood villages isn't something we're as familiar with out in this part of the state. Is there a little update you can give to people? It might help them answer the question.
Yeah, so will these courses be available online? Excellent question. Cost, excellent question. So Neighborhood Villages is an organization that supports a variety of needs for childcare programs across the state. And so in particular, we've been working with them on a few different projects. One is around business administration trainings for programs, and then also thinking about this navigation or this online portal that will help programs and educators better understand the resources available with advanced coursework, credentialing, and certificates. So will they accommodate work schedules? These are all great questions. How many credits can be CEU as opposed to college credit? One of the things that's so validating about these questions is that I do believe a lot of what you are asking will be covered in the guidance that is being released. Can people use the EEC scholarship money for courses? How long are the courses? Will they provide courses for teacher certification and director certification? Now remember, this is the shift. So programs will be determining teacher certification and director certification based on the minimum qualification standards that we put out in our revised policy. Will the courses be offered at multiple points throughout the year? For those that are offering questions related to access, it'd be helpful to also get a sense of what would be the preferred access point for your staff and your educators. So do you need evenings? Do you need weekends? Do you need particular languages? This is all feedback that would be helpful for us to gather. Online and evenings. When licensing happens, may EEC consider someone not qualified after a program? So I think, Erin, you can speak to this, but your team has been doing a lot of work to think about how to support through technical assistance once the educator qualifications policy goes live. There's a real opportunity to really support programs in understanding and applying the policy in a way that meets their needs. For individuals that are hired that don't meet the minimum qualification standards, we are working through processes that will support them in achieving those standards over a course of time. Funding, yes. Embedded professional development. This is all really great feedback.
Okay.
Yep.
Shall we move to the next question?
Yes.
As we think about rolling out a professional registry or one-stop shop for educator records, what questions should we be sure we answer in communications and technical assistance?
So as you're thinking of the professional registry, remember it's going to include a lot of information on the teacher. So what do you think, what's going to help the teachers putting it in, and what information do you need to help your teachers get in the registry? So clear and simple instructions for input. Yes, that is a definite. Again, with you being familiar with LEAD, and again, I did do some user testing, the instructions were pretty clear. And Caitlin, will it take place of the PQR? That's going to be kind of moved together.
Yeah, so I think when you're offering feedback, think about what is and what's not working with the current PQR. So what do we want to maintain versus what do we need to redesign to better meet your needs? Access levels, that's important. These are great questions. I'm hearing about reciprocity and transition of staffing, access, role definition for employers and employees in the system. Thinking we could probably move to the next question, Ola.
What is the most helpful way to receive information about changes as they roll out?
Sounds like that may have been a residual comment from the last one, but wanting EEC to validate credentialing and qualifications more quickly. Sounds like programs predominantly want to hear about changes in email. I like that one, prior to being rolled out. A weekly email, not on a Friday. I hear ya.
Mhm.
EEC website.
Do people find it useful to do small meetings through Zoom or through Teams to kind of go over certain informations? that's new or needing to be shared.
Wow, we really do like to send emails on Fridays, huh? I didn't realize that. That is great feedback. Zoom meetings are helpful, clear instructions with demonstration. Good to have multiple avenues in the moment and able to circle back to verify.
These are really good comments.
Great. Ola, I think we can probably move to the next question if you guys feel comfortable. Recorded training opportunities. I hear ya.
Okay. Let's move to the last one we have here. Are there concerns or excitement you wish to share related to what you've heard tonight or, today, since it's not nighttime yet?
Concern it won't be clear enough. Love the idea of one-stop shopping. Looking forward to an easy, streamlined online system. You and me both. I'm excited for a streamlined process. Excellent. Within the registry itself, red flag concerns. Previous question, really excited about a one-stop shop and a streamlined approach. Excited about neighborhood villages. Concerned there won't be real change enough to recruit people, lack of qualified people to draw from. Concerns for timeline in order to have everything and everyone in the new system. Excited for the process to be quicker. Me too. If you're going to come out with the new system, it needs to be easy to navigate. Agreed. Excited about the flexibility to hire qualified staff. Would like to get information out to potential candidates so they know it's easier to be hired. Confusion is worse than status quo. Excited for the process to be easier and accessible, user-friendly. Giving the programs the authority to determine staff qualifications rather than waiting months for EEC to respond with a certification approval. I hear ya. All right, Ola, I think we're ready to move on.
Okay, and that brings us to the end of our polling questions. So thank you to everyone for participating. And I will stop sharing my screen as we are finished with that portion.
All right, and thank you everyone for attending today. Again, please give feedback. It's really important and vital for us in order to create these policies and systems that we hear from you and what works, what doesn't work, what you like and what you don't like. You can always reach out to us. Again, don't hesitate. We really want to hear from you. And again, thank you for attending. And it was good to see so many people I haven't seen in a while. And welcome to all our new people who are starting to work with us. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.